Here we go. We just got to the 6% grade, and look at that transmission temp. Welcome back to JB Reviews. Today is the day we're going to do some towing. Now, as you guys saw in the thumbnail, we are going to be doing some towing with the gas truck. And if I have time this week, I will do some hookup videos with the fifth wheel, and we can see just how much clearance I have between the bed rails and all that good stuff with the dually. And then hopefully in a week or two I'll do some more towing tests. But today I'm going kind of far, so I can't do a video with both trucks. But with that being said, white truck is pretty much already warmed up, and I've pretty much backed up in front of the fifth wheel. And let's go ahead and drop it down. One thing you gotta love about these standard box trucks is you have better line of sight, especially with GMs, because the fifth wheel prep package is a little bit behind the axle. You can see the ball a little bit better when you're dropping down the fifth wheel. But I should be there, and I just gotta back up a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, look how much clearance you have. So nice. We're all strapped in. I got tow haul mode on. I just set up my tire pressure. And what else? I think that's it. So just now, when I was making a right turn, I gave a little gas because it's in tow haul mode. It literally started jerking the truck. So like I told you guys, this Allison 10-speed, when you put it in tow haul mode, that torque converter locks up strong. And that's a good thing, because that's how you're able to put that torque down, and it just gives you those confident shifts too. But you know, when you're just driving around 45-50 miles an hour, towing about, we'll get it weighed today at some point, and you'll know before this video how much it actually weighs. But figure it's between 12,500 and 13,000 pounds. And yeah, this truck, I really do believe there's a lot of torque management when it's unloaded. But when you hook up to a trailer, I feel like it's just a little bit stronger. Like I can feel a little bit more confidence. I love how it holds the gears too. And today, we're gonna see how this truck performs going up a 6% grade. Now it's not gonna be for 30 seconds or anything like that. It's gonna be for basically a few miles. I did the same test with the dually, and I thought it did well. I think that if GM did allow for maybe some lower gearing out back, I think that we would have been able to get, you know, 75, 80 miles an hour. So this has the 373 rear, and we're gonna see just how well this one performs. But we won't be there for a while, so I'll check back in a few times if I find anything to talk about. So here is the tire pressure. Let me see if I can give you a bigger screen. There it is. So tire pressures are set to about 80 PSI. They're showing 81. And that's because we've already driven for about 3 miles now. So you're gonna get a little bit more heat, which is gonna increase that tire pressure. But you guys can see there, that's what I love about GM trucks. Like, so let me just show this to you. I've said this many of times. Well, I like that too, by the way. There's actually a guy on the bike, so I had to go around him a little bit. But yeah, as I've said in the past, if you have it on maps, and let's just say you want, you know, to have your tire pressure right here. Check that out. You have your tire pressure with the temperatures right where you can see it at. You have your navigation right there. And you see how I have my gauge cluster set up. I have my temperature for the transmission. I got my tire pressure for the truck right there. This is an amazing setup here. All GM needs to do is adopt what Ram's been doing for a long time, and what Ford did for 2023 is give this truck a gauge summary, so you can see the transmission temperature plus the coolant, the oil, temp, all that good stuff. That's all good information to have at your fingertips, especially for a diesel truck. They don't even show you like the, you know, the boost pressure for the turbo. Those are really important things, and the other two do it. And I don't know why GM doesn't. Now again, I know this is a gas truck, but I have a diesel and it doesn't do it. So again, that's just something that they should adopt, because I feel like those numbers are really important. This is my first time actually taking this trailer on the highway with the gas truck, so I'm really excited. I know that it does well at these, you know, 45, 55 mile an hour speeds, but getting it on the highway is a different animal. So something I have to remind myself of when driving this truck is this is not a diesel. And what I mean by that is I do tend to drive a little bit faster. I would never tailgate or anything like that, but I do find myself, because I know I have an exhaust brake, I can always drop it down for the GM trucks because the exhaust brake's not that strong, but I can start kind of downshifting it, and that engages the exhaust brake to work a little bit better. But with this truck, there's no exhaust brake, and I have to be really mindful of that when we go down the 6% grade. So I have to remind myself, okay, you don't have an exhaust brake, so you're gonna have to take it easy. And that's just the difference between a diesel and a gas truck. Like, I know a lot of guys really want to get an HD truck and save the money and skip the diesel, and I don't blame you. Like, these trucks have gotten so expensive because if this one had a diesel, I mean, that'd be another $10,000, which would be basically $94,000 truck. So I get it. Like, these are not cheap anymore, and even though they're really nice and they do have a lot of safety features and a lot of comfort features, it doesn't change the fact that when you go to a gas truck, you have to be a lot more aware of what you're doing, especially like with traffic. I would say drive 10 miles slower than you would in a diesel truck if you're going from diesel to gas, because it's a learning curve. I found myself doing research on how to tow the gas truck, because when you're towing this heavy, it's not like a 9,000 pound trailer. I mean, this trailer is heavy. With the black trailer that I have, it's a race trailer, 28 foot. I can feel it back there. But this, it moves the truck, especially like when you're like accelerating, like you can kind of feel that weight more so. So when you're going down a steep grade, that's something that you have to keep in mind. And that's what I've been really trying to teach myself. Okay, slow down and, take it easy. Like, because again, I'm going to be doing, you'll see, I'm going to be downshifting, the truck going down the grades. And I'm going to try not to use too much brakes, because obviously it's going to be hotter later today. It's 78 degrees right now. So these are just things that I have to keep in the back of my mind when I do this test. Like, so in other words, I'm a little nervous, like, because this is my first time. And so I really want to go into this thing with the right mindset. Like, I'm at 151 degrees for the transmission temp. So we'll have to check that when we get on the highway, and then when we get up that 6% grade. We're getting on the highway right now. I'm gonna try to get up to about 75 miles an hour to see how it feels. Now the back tires are maxed out to 80. Now the front ones are about 70 PSI. I probably should have aired those up too, but it's not a big deal. I do like higher PSI. But as I mentioned, I should have got it on camera, but I wasn't able to get it because I had to pay attention a little bit. But man, the torque converter in the Allison, it is really strong. It locks up strong. So I'm going about 68. I'm probably like in 4th gear. Let's see if it drops down. Oh yeah. Yeah, that sucker is strong. I'm gonna stick right here about 70 miles an hour until we can get to a good spot, because we're about to go up a steep grade here. And I'll show you guys 75. But so far, 70 feels good. It's kind of holding in 4th, 5th gear, somewhere in that ballpark. And traffic is pretty light too, so we're good there. And temperature keeps going up and up and up. It just shifted up. Shifted again just now. So we're probably like in 8th or 9th gear right now. We're probably like in 7th gear maybe. I got up to about 75 miles an hour. I have my adaptive cruise control on right now, so it's slowing me down a little bit. I don't really recommend using it when you're like in this much traffic, unless it's like a steady speed, because this is gonna kill your fuel economy. Like, this thing is speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. So it's just not good for like fuel economy. But one thing I wanted to do was give this 75 miles an hour so I could show you guys, with these single rear wheel trucks, 75 miles an hour is where you start to really feel the sway. And because this is being a gas truck, it doesn't have the weight you would normally have on the front like a diesel. So my point I was gonna make was, oh, you're gonna feel a lot more sway with the gas truck because it's a lot lighter, blah, 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 blah. And I would be wrong if I had said that. This truck actually has pretty darn good stability at 75 miles an hour. I was going about 75 for about 5 minutes, and I had to look back to make sure the trailer was still there. I believe it's probably because of the weight from the fifth wheel being slightly over the axle. On the GMs, it's a little bit different. Normally on Ram and Ford trucks, it's right over the axle, but with this truck, because it's the standard bed, it's slightly behind it. But I can really tell this truck's pulling really well. Like, it has good stability, and I don't think that the overload leaf springs are engaged because this is not enough weight. Once you get about 3,000 pounds, I think that's where this really starts to, you know, hit those bump stops. But nevertheless, we should be at the grade in about 20 minutes or so, because I'm not going to go all the way to Park City. But yeah, we're going to definitely see how this sucker does, because I'm interested to see. Transmission is already warm too. It's at 190. Uh-oh, we getting warm. We're not even there yet. We just got to I-80, which is basically going to be for the 6% grade. Transmission is at 201, and we have only begun to go up this grade. So you know what that means. We're gonna really get this bad boy hot today. Oh my goodness. So far, I've gotten 7.3 with this truck for fuel economy. Now that's on a 42-mile stretch, and that's about an hour drive. Now I did a little bit of idling this morning, so that's included with that too. That's just like the trip summary that they give you when you start the truck and start driving. But you guys can hear, I'm holding the gear right now. We're going up the grade. I'm going 57 miles an hour. I'm going to switch over to my other camera so you guys can see everything. But transmission's holding steady at 201, so let's see how hot we can get it. My ears have popped almost 2 times, but we're about to start the test here. I think this is the last curve because this road is really curvy for the first 5 minutes or so. And I've been holding steady at 50 miles an hour. I'm trying not to work it too hard until we start the test, but it doesn't really matter. We're at 205 for the temperature. And I think around this curve here, this is where I'm going to start accelerating. So I might have to drop down a little bit, and we're gonna go. So I have to pass this truck. This is wide open throttle, guys. This is a steep grade. Wow. It's getting to the top there. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. High above elevation. Pull off a little bit there. All right. We're gonna go up again in a second here. All right, you guys see this? This is the big boy right here. This is the test. This is where it starts right here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm scared. I am so scared. I don't know why I'm scared, but I'm just scared. Here we go. You ready? Drop down about 45. Wide open throttle. Man. I'm actually passing a truck right now. Oh man. It's about 82 degrees up here too. Just holding steady at 49 miles an hour. Not losing speed. Not gaining speed either, but you know, I'm impressed. This is a steep grade. Very good. There it is, 50. Just to give you perspective of the grade there. Now there is a truck about to pass me, and he got a lot more weight than I do, way more. He probably has 60,000 pounds probably. Transmission is doing its thing at 210. Has not gotten any hotter than that. That is amazing. I really am impressed, guys. Like, very impressed. All the temperatures are in line. I'm still wide open throttle too. I have not let off. And this bad boy is working. Man, it is doing a great job. 50 miles an hour, hey, I'm impressed. And that's it. See, someone else didn't even finish. They're not even towing a trailer. Wow, good job. You deserve an oil change now. There it is. She's quiet too. I think I would rather use premium fuel versus the you know, regular gasoline. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, just use 85. I'm not doing it. This truck performed beautifully. Tires are, oh yeah, tires are warm. But yeah, the truck did great. Now we gotta go back down the grade, so we're gonna work that transmission one more time. And like I said, those bump stops aren't even touching the least. This one is. But yeah, let's go ahead and get down the road. Let me pop the hood. Let me see if I can smell anything under here. Oh yeah, it's quiet. That is a healthy gas engine right there. So healthy. Now, it has one more task. Can it get me down that grade without making me crash? Let's see. Shockingly, we finished going up the grade at 6 mpg, 53 miles. That is really, really good. So this is a 6% grade for the next 10 miles here. So let me just see what happens. I'm gonna put it in cruise control actually. So I'll lock it in. Let me get up to 60, 63. So it's speeding up, 64, 65, 66. Oh, that's good. That's because the cruise control is not set. Ha! There it is. Okay, I got a 62 now. 63, 64. Oh yeah, you see my head? Yes. You know, I'm impressed. Oh, let's see what happens. 62. It's holding me. 63. Let me get down to about 55. I'm gonna stick right there. That might be too fast for this steep of a grade. A little bit of brake input. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the adaptive cruise control off because I don't want it braking. I'd rather my trailer do some braking for me. A little bit of brake input. Transmission is not that strong. At first I felt the torque converter locking up, but I feel like it's just not enough to really keep the speed at bay, and which means you're going to be using your brakes. Your cruise control is giving you some brake input. So I'm going to turn that off for a little bit for now. It's holding the gear for me, so that's fine. So 56, 57, 58, 59, 's going back down again. Although actually we're on flat ground right now. Transmission's at 210. So there you have it. I mean, I think that something that the gas trucks would benefit by is by having a electric motor to kind of give regenerative braking, because it's definitely using a little bit more brake input than I would want, especially if it's like 100 something degrees outside. Your brakes are gonna heat up like that. So personally, braking is more important than acceleration to me, and this transmission is just not strong enough. Like, I feel like it's a little bit stronger in the diesel, and that's without the exhaust brake. If you put the exhaust brake on, it's even a little bit stronger than without it, obviously. But yeah, when you have it in cruise control, you can feel the brakes, and I don't want the brakes, you know, being used unless I'm using them, because I don't know how hot they're gonna get. So hope you guys liked the video. I think the truck performed well. Acceleration was pretty darn good. I mean, to hold 50 miles an hour towing 13,000 pounds, I mean, it's a lot of weight. I mean, I don't know what the gross combined weight rating is, but it's probably somewhere in that 20,000 pound range. So we're not talking about a little bit of weight here. This is a heavy load for a gas truck, and it did really well. I'm impressed. The only negative is this going down this grade here. I feel as though that 10 speed is just not giving me that engine braking that I need. My wife's Wagoneer, which has the ZF transmission, it does really well with the engine braking, like really well. And I feel like that's the only thing that GM needs to kind of incorporate, or just maybe add some type of electric motor to give some engine braking, you know, because that might be really helpful for people who don't want that diesel option, especially if they don't drive that much and they're doing a lot of city driving. But I won't ramble anymore. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to do 0 to 60 run and MPG. Okay, so I'm going to find a place to start that test next, and we're going to do it at a gas station filling up.